thank, first of all, our openers, Deirdre McQuillan, and introduce her to you. Although Deirdre doesn't really need any introduction, I'm sure. But Deirdre is fashion editor at the Irish Times, author, journalist, writer, and she's going to say a few words now to open this exhibition first. So I hand you over to Deirdre.
Well, I'm delighted to be here tonight, and I was really honoured to be asked by Colin to do this, because it brought me back 2 years ago when I worked in the Abbey Theatre, and we used to host exhibitions in the Peacock, in the foyer and the bar, which then doubled up as a restaurant at lunchtime. So what we had, we would have people who were coming in to see a play who mightn't necessarily go to a gallery, people coming in for lunch who mightn't necessarily go to a gallery, and it did very well. I mean, we sold quite a lot, and I love the idea of art being in another place other than a gallery, because I think you can, enjoy a wonderful meal and enjoy some wonderful art, and you've got time to look at it. So I'm delighted that the restaurant is hosting this, and it's my neighbourhood restaurant. I live down the road. So just to introduce the artists, most of whom your friends are here, the artists, but Mary de Blacam comes from a very distinguished family, and I know them very well. Shane de Blacam, the architect, Colin, who's made such an incredible success of the knitwear company in Inishmaan, and Rory, his son, and Marie-Therese, who now run the restaurant with Rome. So Mary's a cousin of that family. She's incredibly talented. She trained at the Glasgow School of Art, Charles Rennie Mackintosh and all that. She's lived in San Francisco, London, New York, and Australia. And I think there's something about the buoyancy and vibrancy and our sense of colour that it's so strong and immediate. And I love the painting upstairs because it fills the whole room, and I can imagine just sitting there having a meal and just getting sort of drinking in that painting. And of course Nuala's intricate pieces of porcelain are just extraordinary. I mean, really extraordinary. She's fascinated by the geometric forms of nature. So there's a kind of symmetry and yet a kind of unruliness as well within her pieces, which, by the way, are washed in a dishwasher. So the thing about porcelain is not only its strength, but its delicacy. And the delicate pieces are these struts. And I think these pieces, the organic forms, are absolutely stunning. And she's won loads of awards. She's in Colin's Barracks at the moment in this great exhibition that celebrates Ireland and Japan and the relationship of 60 years. She's also going to be in Farmley in June at a special exhibition that will celebrate 40 years of ceramics in Ireland. And she's also, I mean, I could talk about Nuala for a long time, but she's won 2 awards from the Golden Fleece, which is one of the largest and most celebrated awards in this country, in memory of Lilias Mitchell. And Colin, my friend Colin, who has developed this great skill and technical mastery of paper architecture, but which has its own beauty and narrative, and is so exquisitely executed that it's terribly impressive. And I mean, he really. It's detail. He was saying today you can cut paper one way and it looks like something, and you can tear it another way and it looks like something. So I'd love to see his room, because it must be full of bits of paper and all the rest of it. And of course, what's interesting about all of them, and what I think is wonderful about this exhibition, is how different it all is. And yet, they all have one thing in common. They all come from a background of architecture and construction. So, it's interesting that 3 very different approaches, 3 very different expressions of their art are here in this one place. And it gives me great pleasure to say the exhibition is now open, and I hope you will all buy something and enjoy the work. And thank you very much for asking.